It has a very meaty kind of flavor to it.
The Don Scott House, Vale's Purple Oasis Garden.
Well, this is oregano.
This is garlic.
This you guys were growing, but it would be good. That's garlic mustard. Everyone knows dandelions.
Very,
Super
very
good for
nutritious
you.
though,
Yeah,
right?
very nutritious for you. You can use the leaves. You can also use the root. Where else? Let's do that here. Oh. These are sumac cherries. I'm not exactly sure if you have to clean them before you use them, or you can just drop this into water and it makes a very tart kind of lemonade, actually.
Wow.
These are mallow leaves. This plant is a weed everywhere. It's relative of marshmallow. Marshmallows come from a plant called marshmallow, from the roots. But you can use these leaves as a salad green. They're kind of, when you chew on them, they kind of are, they're sticky and gooey like marshmallows are.
Wow. Didn't know there was such a thing. I thought marshmallows came in the bag like they came in the store.
Oh, hey.
This little plant is burdock. It's the thing that makes those big burrs that stick onto your coats and stuff. Those round, sticky balls. But you can dig it up, and we only got the first little bit of root. But the root is probably this deep in the ground. And it's eaten in Japan. It's called gobo. And you can kind of can smell it. You usually cook it, so you might not want to eat it raw. But it smells, it's a very fresh kind of carroty sort of smell. And last but not least, does anyone know what this wild green is?
It looks like a spinach or a lettuce.
It's lettuce. It's romaine lettuce that probably you guys grew last year or the year before, and you let it go to seed.
The year before we did.
And the seeds blew away, and they landed in the garden on the other end, and are just happily growing amongst the grass.
That's amazing.
So
Volunteers.
yeah, so wild doesn't always mean weird. It can also be the very same stuff that you eat all the time. It's just
That's
growing,
amazing.
it's growing on its own, and you didn't have to do anything.
I didn't know all these things were out there.
So that's my motion.
Thank
So-
you, Marco.
And
And so
if you, oh, and there's wild mustard. I forgot about wild mustard. Which is right here.
Now we understand the wild mustards grow everywhere,
Yeah.
and you don't have to
None of these things you have to do anything.
do anything with.
They just show up. Yeah.
Wow, this is wonderful. Thank you.
And these plants were all found at Vale's Purple Oasis Garden.
Yes.
And you could add any and all of them to your soup.
And we have a big pot of soup right here that we did
Or
last
to your
night. It
bagel,
has
or-
collard greens in it, fresh turnips, potatoes, carrots, onions, red and yellow and green bell peppers, fresh ginger.
Did you say bell peppers?
Bell peppers.
Peppers, marvelous.
We're ready to eat.
All right, thank you.
Could you give us a little bit about your background?
Sure. No. I trained as a horticulturist and worked in. One second.
Okay, I have a piece of that here.
It's
This
so
is
good. Pumpkin bread that
delicious.
Janet Fiskio made. So my name is Marco Wilkinson. I trained as a horticulturist and worked as a horticulturist for many years in public gardens in New York City. And then moved out here to Oberlin and worked as a farmer for several years. I now teach sustainable agriculture courses at Lorain County Community College. A new program just started up this semester, fall 2011. We're really excited about it. So if you're interested in learning about farming and about gardening, you can come out to Lorain County Community College and take courses with me or a number of other really wonderful teachers.
Did you grow up in a family that was associated with farming?
Not really, no. My mom was a gardener, but she grew flowers, but not really food. After college, I was an English major, and after college, I wanted to work with my hands. And so I went and worked on an organic farm in rural Pennsylvania, and it just really captured my my heart. And So I've been doing that ever since. And I'm in the midst of taking my 1 acre yard and turning it into a 1 acre micro farm, trying to do what Vel's doing in Vel's Purple Oasis and turning the whole thing into edible foods. And I'm blogging about that along the way. It's called Earth Storehouse Project. So the project is called Earth Storehouse Project.
And how can they reach you? Do you have a website, a blog, or are you online?
Sure, probably the easiest way to find
Email.
me. The easiest way to find me would be to go to http://www. Sorry, not www. So go to Earth Storehouse, all one word, .blogspot.com. And they can find my blog there and then my contact information.
Okay. What are some of the
Thank
things?
you for this.
What are some of the things that you've been going over with the students this year in your classes?
This semester I'm teaching a class on soil management. So we're talking about what soil is, how it works, and how we can work with the soil to make it more fertile and more healthy, to take care of not only ourselves but the rest of the planet as well.
Yeah, it's
And
wonderful.
next semester I'll be teaching a class on plant propagation, on how to grow seeds and how to grow cuttings, and another class on wild edibles, which will be expanding on a little bit of what you just saw in terms of what kind of plants are growing already in our backyards and in our streets that we can make use
Love
of.
it.
I want to mention that I was in California, Los Angeles, and since I'm not from the West Coast, but from the Northeast up here in Cleveland, Ohio, and I would see the wildflowers, or what we would think of as weeds in the cracks in the streets, and I thought, how exotic. These are beautiful plants. I said I should maybe pull them up and take them home and could sell them in a florist shop. They're so beautiful.
Right.
Because, we take that our local flora for granted.
That's very true. It's very true. Weed is very much a subjective term. It simply is a plant that we don't think we have any use for. But there are so many quote-unquote weeds that are not only nutritious but healthful and useful in so many different ways. And as soon as you start thinking of them in that way, they no longer seem like weeds. They seem like gifts.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.